Hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of Awesomenauts. Today I've got a very special guest. Say hi, Clever Girl.
How's it going, everyone?
Clever Girl has been curious and quite adamant about a couple of things that have been happening on the forums, specifically the patch notes, and whether or not some things have been nerfed to the ground and need improvement, or whether or not certain things need to be changed. So that's what the purpose of today's episode is going to be.
Yeah, we're not going to focus a lot on all the upgrades, but I'm looking specifically at silence and the big change that they've done.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do and what Clever Girl's going to do is we're going to play Vinny and Leon, respectively, and we're going to try to go as silence heavy as possible. See what, well, intelligently speaking, I mean, but let's see if silence even has an impact.
I'm the biggest fish in this town.
Okay, that screen needs to stop popping up.
I'm just going to go nice and easy into it. I'm just going to grab silence as fast as possible.
That's
at
a
least
good
the
idea.
first thing of it. So that's all I care about.
Alright, that's fair. I'm going to go ahead and get it a little bit later on the dash in the cloud, but I am going to be focusing on getting that silence out as quickly as possible. Alright.
Now this will be interesting because they do have a skull deer, and he should be, in theory, least affected.
Well, heck, even Raylan and Lone Star now, especially Lone Star with his missile upgrade buff, can do some serious damage early on. Uh-oh. Not exactly sure what happened there, but okay. I'm just surprised there isn't a gnaw in here right now.
Well, you guys see a lot of different, because of all the different patches, I think it's going to be lots of people testing out new things.
That's good. Ow. Yeah, no, I'm gonna need help soon. There we go. Man, those range reapers hurt like hell.
Yeah, these guys are very powerful.
Speaking of which, I'll go ahead and get two of our own. Uh-oh. Oh god, 7 damage bullets still hurt. I'm okay though. Guys, I'm not totally stupid.
Alright, I'll have my full silence upgrade right now.
Alright, I think I got silence on dash by now.
Your turret is under attack. Oh shit, crime.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the cloud silence right after this.
Yeah, my prediction so far is that Cloud Silence is still very powerful.
Incoming Skull Deer, he's gonna drop down. Oh, almost died, but not because of the silence. I'll give you that much. In fact, I still got pretty badly hurt and all that. Okay. You think, does silence interrupt abilities that are currently running or no?
It does not. It interrupts Raylan's snipe if she's charging into it, but that's a mute point for at least Leon because I interrupt anyways.
Right. Oh! That got me through the turn. That sucks.
You have been killed. Blast off.
That's still gonna be mean for Vinny regardless.
Yeah.
Your turret is under attack. Okay, wise guy, where's all my dough? Hand over the loot.
Alright, well, at the very least I got the cloud. Did they put the fact that free pills only gives 30 in the patch notes or no?
I don't know if they actually put it in the patch notes.
Okay, yeah, silence does stop the Raylan charging.
Yeah, it does. It still does not interrupt Clunk exploding, though some people say that it should if Raylan gets affected. But
it seems to be two different elements of programming, though. Like the two are different abilities, programming-wise. It feels like. That hurt a little. Yeah, quickly back off. We'll be right back.
Never gonna catch me, see? Your turret is almost lost.
Seems like they're doing really well with their levels so far.
Your turret is destroyed.
yep.
It's a good thing your main is Leon, otherwise he probably wouldn't stand too much of a chance.
Yeah, well, with Skoldir here, Skoldir doesn't care for Leon anyways. So I'm not too much of a threat to him. At least not initially.
Yeah. I wonder if the nerf to his stun punch will do something. Watch out, there's a Skoldir up there. And he is not friendly at all. Alright, silence on Cloud.
Your turret is under attack. An enemy is very like that, boy. Your turret is under attack.
Yeah, Skoldir is not just ignoring the silence.
Pretty
He
much.
can just wait at least for mine, he can just wait that short period of time and just...
Keep beating on you as a result.
Yep.
Wait to use the punch later.
That'll be me backing off.
Didn't Skoldir always kind of ignore it though?
Yes. That's still one of the things. He's not very skill-oriented.
It's funny, I can never get him to work either. Like, I can work Froggy usually like a surgeon, but it comes to Skoldir, I can't get him to work at all.
So far,
Your turret is under attack.
it looks like from
Have been killed.
hitting Lone Star, he doesn't care that much because he can just basically jump around, at least for Leon's tongue.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to bother him very much. If Raylan was closer, like I'll probably go up stealth just so I can get close in and see how it does, but otherwise she doesn't seem to care that much.
Yeah, I've noticed the silence seems to have been doing very little against this team, just as a whole. Even the fact that Lone Star is very skill dependent, like with dynamite and all that stuff, he just kind of shoots you anyway, whatever. Oh, hello. How's it going, friend? Oh! Sean has killed you! I always like funny names like that.
Oh, this is a bull.
Your turret is under attack.
Oh, watch out. Oh, oh, so close. I was feeling a bit ballsier. Ow, that snipe. I need to learn to dash out of the way of that more often. Yeah, I had to back off. Hopefully with a pair of boots I'll be able to start moving out of the way a little bit easier.
They're rubbing me blind, see?
That should also allow me to use my silence a little bit more often, just to get close enough to do it.
Nope.
Oh, he does not care.
Yeah, so Scoldy is a good example of someone who just does not... He just doesn't care.
Alright, so my immediate thought then is, how does this differ from something like Arbe, where it's an upgrade that only works against a couple of knots, but when it works, it's very effective. Do you think the same can be said for silence or no?
The thing about Arbe is that it's going to affect all knots while you're in it that have any projectile properties.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing about that is that you have to consider all the things that are affected. So you basically have all the ranged knots, auto attacks, and a handful of skills. Like you could consider Turret Derpal, Lightning Ball Coco,
Dynamite on Lone Star.
Dynamite. It affects the gnome for Scoldier.
You know, the rest of Scoldier is very much unaffected by that.
Yeah. So it is really conditional, and just kind of coming back to the point is that silence is the same way. It's only shutting down skills, but you have to consider what skills are, I guess, unaffected for the most part. Now, Scoldier is not going to do Quake, for example. Like, he's not really going to care about that. Like, considering from Leon's standpoint, Raylan doesn't matter, because she's going to get interrupted anyway with, like, Snipe.
Right.
She won't get her getaway, which is actually pretty good. With Rift.
That's true.
So there's a boon there. But now you have to take in consideration that all these characters like Clunk, his Bite and Explode combo, the benefit you would have for actually using Silence is to basically just do hit and run maneuvers. Like I'm trying to do that a little bit, because all you can do is basically hit them and then get out of there. Lone Star will be able to Dynamite punch him. See, he can pull right out of it.
Oh yeah.
He just needs to jam down that button and he'll be able to get out.
Your turret is under
Oh god. Oh no! The flying drones just tore me a new one.
have been killed.
I got blocked by the flying drones. That's a little sad.
Yeah, they're just gonna push in here.
3, 2.
Yeah, you have to also consider I'm down 410 solar to basically pull this off.
Your turret is under attack.
Well, yeah, like, winning was not really the point of this video in the first place. The
Oh, no,
effectiveness
I know.
of silence was, right?
Yeah, this is just another commentary on it. The fact that to get the most out of Silent for Leon, it's costing me 410 to use.
Right. And it's really not doing as much as like one investment in Arbe would, even though it too is very situational. Like it can.
Yeah, because well, don't forget how long does the tornado go for? Like that's how long Arbe is being affected for. Silence, I've got like a 1.5 window for this silence, so that gives me enough time that I can jump into someone, silence them, like probably do a party mask silence combo, hit them with 1 or 2 hits, and then probably get out of there.
Right.
And those droids again.
Yeah. No, I went in and I keep forgetting silence doesn't stop attacks from happening to Vinny when he dives in now.
Yeah. So it makes also Vinny a lot. It's a lot harder to go in safely.
Well, if at all, like it makes antique machine gun almost mandatory now.
Yeah, because dive, you're not protected for dive. Like if Splash Dash had silence on it, I mean you're protected the whole time. So like, oh, I can go in safely. I'm gonna hit them with this. See, and that was actually another good point. If you look at Raylan, who's hit by both the silences stacked together, that also gave her enough time to just activate her boots, not even auto attack, and run away.
The boots then are not affected by silence at all then.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable. It's not a skill in those regards, and I wouldn't expect it to be affected.
Yeah, neither would I. It's interesting to note. Oh Jesus! In and then out.
Yep, those flying droids.
That's actually a cool buff though. I like that. That's
yeah,
fine.
it is nice because now you don't have people who are just jumping in the middle of droid fights.
Well, also, like, it gives teams a reason to go back and stockpile and time their droid drops.
Yeah.
Which makes this level a lot more interesting all of a sudden. Like, there was a point to it before, sorta, but now it's actually very important.
An ally has been killed.
Yeah, nowhere near enough.
Yeah, the thing with it is, like,
Your face.
for Vinny and Spike, you don't have the protection anymore that Silence was granting you. It was really good protection, especially for the duration.
Oh, heck yes.
You don't have that. They can now retaliate you back, and since Vinny is really squishy as is, and the health pills changes, which don't really care to get into.
Let's not do that.
It makes it a lot harder for you to have safe dives or safe smoke screens.
Well, yeah, I think one of the big reasons why they nerfed his HP so hard since when it was first released, like if you remember, he was really overpowered. But one of the big reasons why they nerfed him so much was because he could just kind of walk in and walk out like that.
Yeah.
And now he can't anymore.
Oh, another one I want to point on because I don't figure we're gonna play him is Durple. Durple is the other not with silence on.
Oh right, on his trap. I forgot about that.
Yes. Now here's the interesting thing about his trap. Now one of the big things about silence is to either stop retaliations if you don't want them to basically hit you back, like Leon's tongue if you're diving in.
Right.
The other is to actually stop them from getting away from you. So Leon's tongue is a good example of this. Now Durple's trap, innately, that's not a problem.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to get away from him. Now you can still use skills like Clunk can still try and bite him and explode on him. That's still an issue.
Right.
However, the silence time on it is only, I believe, a second it gets to.
Right, okay.
And the trap time can get up to 3.8 seconds. So you're actually... the difference becomes better at this point. Are you better off just ignoring the silence effect and just sticking with snare so you can teamfight him better?
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling sort of before, but at least that allowed them not to auto-attack you. When people were caught in snares, they tended to panic anyway, right? Like, they normally didn't do anything extra. Oh, wow, they auto-target people pretty hard. Jesus.
Yep. Which making them a lot harder to defend against as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. A team that can defend their flying drone seems to be a team that's in a really good position to do stuff.
Yeah. But getting back to Durple now, so some of the skills that Durple would really care about for his silence, obviously is Clunk, who can just retaliate back. Let's say you do a snare turret up next to him. Clunk can probably survive and maybe kill you off in that scenario. Lone Star could bully you away if you try and do like a close. If you're just trying to do like a cat Durple, which is a normal build, you can still hit him, but after that 1 second, you're basically pushed out.
Killing.
Right. So there seems to be a lot of ways to get out of a silence if it is in fact inflicted upon you. It doesn't seem to do a big anything.
The biggest proponent I'm looking at here seems to be timing. Leon's tongue is 1.5 seconds, or 1.4 if they're really a stickler on how much it is.
Right.
I don't know. And you're looking at, okay, within 1.5 seconds, what can Leon do to someone? Like early on, not much. Honestly, you're not going to do too much to someone.
Oh,
That's
sick,
really going to be
sorry, go
much
on.
of a difference.
Yeah, I agree. No, that amount of time really is quite minute.
Late game, it can be pretty good. You get attack speed, maybe get a crit in there, something along those lines. It might be decent, you know?
Yeah.
But early on, this is not something that you'd want to buy into. I'm just playing with it, and I'm just down compared to all the people we're facing.
Yeah, going at first seems to have been a very dumb idea, but I've seen it useful against that Skoldir once, and it was useful to get away.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we're not fighting Clunk. I think would be a big example of someone that you'd want to silence and keep silence down in a team fight. I think Vinny is still good for that, but I'm looking at least at the times when you silence them. Dash seems to be like, what is your dash silence at? Like, what's the time on it?
Let me check.
Duration.
I need to go back to shop anyway. The silence lasts for 1 second, and it's only 1 rank.
Okay, well, that's, if you think about it, that's enough to get in and set up maybe your next silence. Be like, okay,
Yeah.
I've silenced them, wait, and then do a cloud.
Actually, that's a perfect amount of time it takes for me to do it.
Yeah, so that's not bad if you think about timing-wise. However, the whole point about the cloud is that you gotta get in right on them. Now that you don't have that safe option, you're basically weak against the auto attacks that can come in.
And
You're gonna have issues.
I was gonna say that also means that the double seahorse head, burst build that I managed to show off in one of my videos is completely knackered. Like, it can't actually do that safely by any stretch anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that hurts still. But there's no way you can actually safely burst close up to people now. You have to stick at range, which is very difficult.
Yeah.
Your base is under attack.
And you see here, actually, this is actually an interesting to look at, is that their Lone Star, while trying out the new changes, also ended up grabbing some blaster upgrade. So now that when we're silencing him, he's just able to fight us right back, no problem.
Oh, for sure. And his biggest changes were to his rockets for his blaster too.
Now, here's another thing I like to point out for silence. If you think about it compared to, let's say, Arbe again. Arbe is a counter upgrade. If you think about it, it really is. Like, maybe you want to help push towers. It's kind of productive in that sense. But then you have Turret, Durpo, Coco, a lot of knots who actually get countered by it.
Yeah.
Silence, like, you'd think it'd be a counter upgrade. You'd be like, okay, if they're going to use
this is
something
just
like a
in
heavy skill
case if they use that, yeah.
They're going to use a heavy skilled character. But the funny thing about it is that Arbe, it's the way you deal with it not being an issue is to basically wait it out. You go, okay, well, he's Arbe'd, I'm going to stop shooting at him, right?
Yeah.
The difference with silence is it's not like you wait till the time runs out, like you could, but you can actually counter it just by focusing on auto attacks. Be like, okay, if they're gonna waste money on this one upgrade, I just need to buff my auto attack, which every knot has some decent auto attack potential.
Except Voltar, but even he has drones.
Yeah, he has drones that aren't actually affected by it, I believe.
No, they're
you
not.
can hit them with silence, they don't care.
Yeah, I think
So
that's accurate.
Innately, now silence has a counter potential built into it naturally. You just go, oh, he's running silence. I can counter that by focusing on one of my other upgrades.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting if silence is supposed to be like a counter pick, like something to use to counter a certain strategy.
Well, it counters using ability heavy builds like most Lone Stars I see. But you're right, like it is easy enough to counter for everybody else. It's just like, oh, what, you're going that? I'll just get silence then. Or sorry, I'll get auto attacks to counter your silence, and then you just spent 410 gold on nothing. That seems accurate, though. Like, right now I've spent, let's see, how much have I managed to spend to get silence to work? Another 200, another 210, so yeah, another 410 to get my cloud silence and my dash. And if they have gone auto attacks, then I am out of luck. All that solar went to no reason at all.
Yeah, now we can consider that maybe these guys are... There's that.
Oh, gnome to the dome.
Gnome to the dome.
Yeah, that's gonna be a new saying,
And
I swear.
Raylan gets away with like 1, 2 health.
Yeah, not very much at all. Granted, I probably missed something there, I don't know.
It's possible the initial spikes might have missed, at least proccing on her.
Who knows, right?
But the thing about silence now is that instead of it just being a counter, like, before you could consider silence almost a stun. Like, you really could. Be like, well, they can't do anything for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Movement aside.
Yeah, that's been my experience with it before this patch, too.
Yeah, so that was something that it still had things that you could accomplish. But now it does a lot less. I mean, that seems to be part of the intention, because I believe, probably, honestly, Derpo didn't use it, Leon would kind of use it, but Vinny and Spike is probably the big proponent to this change.
Oh, huge. Definitely.
Now this is kind of a grain of salt possible assumption here. The new Knot, I believe, is going to also have silence either as a primary skill or heavy upgrade. Just some thoughts on it to kind of warrant these changes to silence.
Right.
It's possible that because he's very silence heavy, they felt that in testing it needed to be taken down a peg. So that's something we could consider.
At the same time, this is a peg that didn't seem to be needed to be taken down too, almost.
Yes. I saw some complaints on the forums every now and then, like, well, Vinny's so powerful with his smokescreen blind, things like that. But if you think about, like, for droid waves, he'd stop them with blind anyways. Silence doesn't really do anything to them. It's mostly for knots.
Right.
Nope, and yeah.
Shite.
Right after the silence,
yep.
Able to get a dynamite to the face. See, it's kind of interesting because the number of characters that don't want to be close up, that are really affected by silence. Trying to think of a couple of them, maybe like a Raylan without boots. Could be one example. Yeah. Probably Yuri wouldn't like that because he can't bubble away.
That's true.
Voltar doesn't want to be close to you anyways, and he doesn't have an escape skill. I could see Froggy. Most Froggies don't run boots. That would definitely be someone I'd say that could still be affected by the silence pretty well. But he can, again, go into Thornfish.
Pulling in somebody with tongue on Clunk specifically is still good for Leon. Like, it's good still for initiating and making sure that they can't escape immediately. So I still think that silence on Leon is going to be a decent thing to pick up. It's just not going to make them completely helpless.
Yes, but again, you're going to see that picked up either later in the game, or it's going to be a very gank-oriented team. It's going to be a team that wants, like, even still the long tongue upgrade first. Like, well, we need to initiate and we want to do it safely, relatively safe.
Right. And then for Vinny, it's going to be used purely for support now, or do you think he'll still use it for offensive spike dash builds?
I think that you're going to still see it on Smokescreen. I believe the silence on Smokescreen is still quite good for what it does, mostly because the Smokescreen duration is very nice. But you're not going to see it on Dash, even though it should make you relatively safe, auto attacks aside from going in. I still believe the time of you diving in is enough to get off a Smokescreen, even preemptively.
Usually.
I believe they also made changes to his auto attack that you can do Smokescreen and dive interchangeable between them. So it sounds like you can at least cancel into some of his skills a lot better as well.
Well, the one thing that was really annoying with him was how clunky his bubble gun was. So you couldn't get bubble gun shots off and then dive immediately afterward. You had to wait a half a second before doing that.
Yeah.
Either way, thanks a lot, Clever Girl. I learned a lot. I hope everyone who's been watching this has as well.
Yeah, it was great testing out some of these new changes. Check out the new droid meta game that's going to be coming in.
Yep. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Later!